Yes,
The best Christian comes out.
Yes, sir.
Somebody that best recipe comes out. Looking for none of that.
No, sir.
But I had my what they call trial sermon. I started out on Sunday night. I had a Sunday night message.
All right.
Trial too.
Then the next message for me was a Friday night message. And that's the session. Sunday night, Friday night. The next thing I know, Pastor said, "You preaching Sunday morning." All the other elders and evangelists, they hate what you have. Like what's why y'all get mad at me? My first 3 messages was just like that.
Yes,
All
they
right.
were. Yes, they were.
All right.
But I remember expediting. My pastor told me, he said, "You're going to expedite this particular Sunday morning." I wasn't even in the church, I don't know, just a little over a year. Me and my wife got married and we were loving God, and I thank God for her because she taught me something.
All right.
Because when you're trying to do right and you're trying to work right, you watch those that have been there, because she was in church 6.5, almost 7 years with 2 kids before I came along.
All right.
And so she was fasting and praying. She was in that crew there, fasting and praying and laying before God. And even when I came along, I got with them. Because, see, when you come to church and you want to do right, you know who's doing right. And see, I found out that when I came into the church, hello somebody, it was a funny place.
Yes,
Right.
And I began to define it later. And I tell folks it's a hospital.
yes, it is.
All kind of folk you find in the church.
Yes, sir.
In the hospital.
Yes, sir.
And so we begin to fast and pray and lay before God, because that's what y'all told me to do.
All right. All
I
right.
remember when it was 4 hours fasting. I would fast that 4 hours, it seemed like it was an eternity. That 4 hours went to 24 hours, and that 24 hours went to 3 days, and that 3 days went to 21 days.
Yes, sir.
21 days went to 30 days, and that 30 days went to 40 days.
All right.
Fasting 40 days, laying before God. Nothing but water. Hello, somebody. But desiring to please God,
Yes,
desiring
sir.
to serve right, desiring to walk in holiness. Hello,
Yes, sir.
somebody.
Yes,
And see,
preacher.
when y'all tell me about miracles, signs, and wonders, this is what y'all told me that was evident in the church. When y'all told me that it's important for us to follow the leader, that's what I did. I did what y'all told me.
Come on.
And I found out that surely, mother, as I began to walk and come in and testify of some of the things that God did, y'all were looking at me like I had 2 heads.
Come on.
Simply what I found out, that y'all told me to fast and y'all wasn't fasting.
Come on now.
Negroes, but I ain't gonna say that. Y'all told me to pray, but I found out that y'all was not praying. Y'all told me to lay before God, but y'all was not laying before God, so I was having experience
Come on now.
with God that y'all didn't have. But if you would just apply yourself like you told me to apply myself, you would have had the same experience.
Whoa.
Yeah. Say that.
And I remember expediting, getting ready for service that morning, and I just came back from down in Louisiana, and down there, I picked up this old Chrysler, a 2-door coupe, a long white body car. And going to church that morning, and we were living off of Pleasant Street, right over from Dorchester Avenue. Me and my wife in the car, got the kids in the back, and we turned that corner, and we saw a group of Asian people, because there were a lot of Cambodians and Vietnamese and over there in that area, and we saw them over to the side. But what we didn't know, that there was a child in between 2 cars, seeing the family over there.
All right.
Get across the street. And I didn't know it. I wasn't riding too fast. I was just, medium speed, about, just 20. And I tell you, he came out, dashed from between the 2 cars, and just ran out into the street, and we hit him.
Oh, come on. My God.
But he kept going through the hood of the car.
Yes, he did. Walk right through it.
And when he got to the other side, the people were like speaking in their tongue, but they were grabbing him, and everybody was touching him, and they were looking at us. And my wife and I stopped, and we looked at each other, and we looked at them, and we looked at each other, and we said, did what happened just happen? He ran through the hood of the car.
My God.
Amen.
We talk even about giving
Watch out, preacher.
and giving of ourselves.
Come on.
Right.
But will we?
Come on.
See, I'm talking and I'm preaching from a life of a testimony.
Come on now.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to have testimony, you have to have boldness.
Oh, yes.
Come on now. Gotta go through some tests.
And when you go through the test, that means you got to give up something.
That's it.
Yes,
That's
come
it.
on, preacher. You got to give.
I don't understand how you want God to do great things, but you give up so little.
Come on now. Preacher. Watch out.
The Bible says if you sow sparingly,
Well,
you reap sparingly.
Said
come on
so.
now.
If you sow bountifully, you reap bountifully. Don't be hating on me because you still riding the hoopty.
Come on.
All right.
That you need to examine yourself.
That's all.
You may be giving hoopty money.
Come on.
Or sow a hoopty seed. Hello, somebody. It may sound comical, but it's real.
It's real.
Real.
Come on
Come
now.
on now.
Yes, sir.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to learn how to follow the lead in order to be a good leader. You have to be a good follower. But in order to receive from good leadership, you have to be willing to give.
Come on now.
Come on.
My daughter-in-law came to me just a few days ago. I was sitting in my dining room minding my business that night. She works for the state. And you know, it's something that, you know, she's my daughter-in-law, and you would think she would call me dad or something along those lines, but she has never. She calls me prophet.
All right.
Wow.
She came in and she put something in my hand. She said, "Here, prophet."
All right.
She didn't know that she was operating
Come on.
in a law.
Come on now.
If you give the prophet a glass of water,
That's
you
so.
receive a prophet's reward.
That's so.
Right. That's the word.
Are y'all hearing me?
Oh, yeah.
The woman that met Elisha at the gate of Zarephath was operating in a law.
Yeah.
She was fearful about what she was getting ready to do, but unbeknownst to her, it was an opportunity for her to either die or to be blessed.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, preacher.
And see, oftentimes our leaders are standing before us and we're in positions where we look like we're getting ready to die, but they're trying to stretch our faith.
Come on, preacher.
Right.
They're trying to get us to a place where they say, follow me as I